Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. I am on my Spreaker Studio app on my Android phone, so if it sounds a little weird, let me know. I am live in chat right now. If you want to post a message there in the chat room, and I will do one now. You'll hear me typing on my phone. I just said hello. So there's things I want to talk about tonight. I know it's late. It's the 2nd of December, 2017. It is 0:21 in the morning, and it is important. A big announcement. Big, huge, freaking announcement. Walmart is selling Antifa t-shirts. Where's that money go? That money is going into the hands of Walmart, into to support a domestic terrorist group. Okay? I want everyone to boycott Walmart. Everyone, boycott Walmart. You don't need to go to Walmart. It just, you don't need to be there. That little ding was a message. I was getting some email coming in. Just completely boycott Walmart. This is incredible. When I heard this news, I thought, that's it. America is not America anymore. It's more of a it's more of a system of privileges where the elites make all the money and don't give any of it to us in terms of a living wage, in terms of, how we live, how we want to live, how we have to live. They don't care. They don't want us to survive. And that's just the way it is. Now, have you got all your affairs in order? Because other things are happening. Learn how to survive. Learn how to survive. If you live on the West Coast, if you live up here near Montana, if you are actively seeking employment elsewhere in another state, in another part of the country, things are going to be a little chaotic. Nothing is probably going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year, but things are rocking and rolling underneath the earth around here, around Yellowstone. And so we must prepare. Everyone must prepare. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care about what religion you are, what political affiliation you have. When the earth opens up and swallows you, then you'll have no other choice. You're dead. I'm being very harsh because that's what it is. I grew up in California. I know what earthquakes are. I was living in Reno, Nevada, the day the Northridge earthquake hit California and devastated the Bay Area. I saw earthquakes all over the place. As far as just in 2009, I was living in Reno, and they had an earthquake swarm and had over... I don't know, they calculated somewhere between 300 to 400 earthquakes. And people were asking, well, why are we having earthquakes up here? Well, how do you think the mountains became the mountains? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's a lot of things going on. And a lot of other, let's just say, subjects I want to talk about. But I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to go that much longer. The thing that really has me, a little upset, a little beside myself, is this. I've known people who saw everything that I was telling them. I helped them understand what was going on around them. They've, looked on their own, investigated on their own, found out that I was right and that they were wondering, what they should do. And then all of a sudden I hear of several people, one in particular, a host over at Shake and Wake Radio.com, literally turn his back on all that information. This host considers everything that I talk about and everything that is out there that others talk about conspiracy theories, and he says he wants no part of it. Now, understand, a lot of people are that way. A lot of people get additional information, and I always say that if you get additional information, please look back at other things that you've overlooked and take a look at how that all fits in. And that's fine. That's okay. We do that every day. Okay, I understand that. But to literally turn your back and put blinders on and not want to see the truth and the facts, well, that's a problem. That's a problem. Now, this person, this host over at ShakeandWakeRadio.com, literally has put the blinders on and is only concentrating on one thing. Me being the spiritual individual that I am and having spent many, many years looking at that, I'm talking decades, okay? I'm talking close to 40 years of complete in-depth research and understanding, and 20 years going to 2 or 3 different churches in California where I lived. I understand a lot. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. I don't have all the answers. I'm still questioning things, and 2 things I've learned in my life is, number 1, question everything, and number 2, question your findings. That's what I've learned in my life. You continually question yourself, your everything, because literally you will find the answer in the process of trying to get the answer. It has, happened to me. It's happened to dozens of other people that I know. But when you turn your back on the truth and the facts, you wind up literally losing everyone else. And more than anything, more than anything, you lose yourself in the process. Not the process of finding the answers, but when you turn your back on trying to find the answers, you lose yourself in that process of ignoring the truth and the facts. And you put your blinders on and you only want to see one thing one way, and literally you've lost at that point. A very good man I knew years ago literally said, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And I looked at him and he says, just don't look at one thing, look at all of it and find what works for you. And guess what? I did. And it helped. And it put me in a position to where I had to, number 1, I had to question everything, including the things that I was seeing and understood from the past. And then I had to question what I found. I had to question the answers that I found. And I kept questioning. In other words, I dug deeper and I went deeper and I went further down the rabbit hole, as they say. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. Do I want the answers? Yeah. But eventually, we're going to be done with these bodies and we're not going to be here anymore. So the answers we have, we should disseminate out to the general public or to friends and family that we want to see change. But here's something else on that as well, and that is, do they want to change? Or do they want to continue with their blinders and continue walking down the road not knowing? There's a great book by Peter Ralston. I haven't read it yet, but it's called The Book of Not Knowing. And you literally have to stop yourself from being so self-centric and begin to look at things with a completely different view of not knowing what it is you're looking at. It is the most difficult thing I could ever have done and could do. And I know that at some point, when you wake up and when you understand things, you then have to stop and say, is that literally what it is? If you're looking at something and you're saying, I don't know what that is, that's the first step into a larger world. I look at things not only like that because that's part of life, but I look at things in a much more defined spiritual way. And the manner by which my physical sight is affected, the way that my physical sight is affected by those spiritual things that I understand, is to that effect, I don't know what that thing is. In other words, if I'm looking out at life and seeing life happen before me and I see something specific, is that thing real? Is that thing what it is? I don't know, but my spiritual side of me says that's energy within the world. That's energy manifesting itself through consciousness. Now, I know that's a deep issue and a deep subject to get into, but here's the reason why I say that. For those people that turn their back on everything that I've talked about for 7 years at least, on air, I can tell you this much. They have no idea what they're doing. When they put their blinders on and say, no, I want nothing to do with conspiracy theories, I want nothing to do with people who do that, I'm just going to concentrate on this, and I'm going to learn ecumenically, theologically, and spiritually, and this is what I want to do, then they're lost in that process. They're lost in that process. Now, the question is, how do you get them back? Well, with the many years' experience that I've had in churches and my epiphany of spirituality many, many years ago, I can tell you this much. There's no way to get them back. Cut them off, leave them be. There's no way to get them back. Because their minds are so indoctrinated with a religiously socialistic way of looking at things now, there's no way to get them back. I know this, I've seen this, I've witnessed this myself. There's no way to get them back. The question that should be asked within that process, within them losing themselves within that process, the question that should be asked is, why are they doing this? Why are they abandoning the truth and facts for what I myself personally, from my perspective, believe is intellectual darkness? How is it that these people literally want to be blinded by those who are blind? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I wish I had an answer for that, but I don't. So, we have Walmart selling Antifa t-shirts, supporting domestic terrorist groups. So it's time to boycott Walmart. And I know that over 90% of the people that hear this will not abandon going to Walmart. But for the 10% that do, thank you. But we have to literally push the issue of Walmart selling Antifa t-shirts out into the public arena. And I would say that after this week, you're going to see more of that particular subject and story get into the mainstream. And people are going to start talking about it. I'm not breaking any news here. It's probably already on the news in terms of the independent media. But it will be out into the general public here within the next week or so. You've got that. You've got Mueller wanting to indict a president. Robert Mueller wants to indict President Trump. That's not going to happen. I'll talk more about that later on today on the American Liberty Radio podcast. There's just so many things. Now, let me also say that Yellowstone is bouncing around with earthquakes. Yes. Magma's flowing underneath that big, massive caldera they got under there. That's under the earth, under Yellowstone. And I don't believe it's going to blow anytime soon, but scientists have said that it's well overdue, but the scientists are saying that it's not going to blow. So literally, it's scary. I'm not going to tell you that it's not. I'm not going to tell you that I don't have a little bit of fear in me. But hey, when your number's up, as I tell people, when you're born, you pull a number. When they call you, you're out of here. You know what I mean? I don't fear death. I fear not being able to accomplish the things I want to do. You know what I mean? But it's not really a fear. It's more of I'm going to do my best to live as much as I can and enjoy what I can and be with the people I love and care about and go from there. And that's pretty much what we do every day, And so, gather your loved ones around and let them know how you feel. They might think you're crazy, but you know what? It's better to love your family than be estranged from them. Anyway, so we have Yellowstone kicking about. You got some birth pangs going on there. Then we have North Korea. The intelligence community has said and has clarified that North Korea has an intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach the United States of America. Now, considering the fact that two of their test flights of missiles that they've built and fired off and tested have fell out into the Pacific Ocean and they failed their launches. Now, as I said, the intelligence community in the United States of America and the military-industrial complex has determined that North Korea has an intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach America. The only other logical explanation of what they're planning is an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse, which once they explode that over any major city in the U.S., lights go out, and you are not going to get them back on. Backup generators are going to be gone, batteries are going to be gone, main power is going to be gone, you name it, all power is going to be gone. Is that going to create havoc and chaos in the infrastructure? It sure is. But I find one little tidbit of information that I want to share with you that is incredibly important. And that is you and I, we the people, the citizens, moms and dads and aunts and uncles and humanity Come together and we will get through it. There is no doubt in my mind. We are a resilient group of people and we will overcome this. Lots of things are happening as well with sanctions against North Korea. China is kind of slapping around Kim Jong-un and telling him to knock off his bull crap and stop throwing a temper tantrum. So they're doing that. They're helping out as much as they can. Russia's kind of sitting back going, I wonder what America's going to do. So we're trying not to get involved in doing, committing an act of war with North Korea. We were there once from 1951 to 1955. We don't want to be there again. We still have bases over there, by the way. But we just don't want to get in a shooting war with North Korea. Not that we're scared of them, but it wouldn't be diplomatic. We need to do something else that is going to take Kim Jong-un, that crazy little fat bastard, and take him out of office. Get him out and into an insane asylum where he belongs, where he won't hurt anybody. So that's what we need to do. Lots of stuff going on, lots of things, including California being totally communistic because they have literally proven themselves to be the most worthless state in the union. I say on my podcast and, of course, a live broadcast that California's gone. California's history, there is absolutely no reason why anybody needs to move there because now it's a sanctuary state. Any illegal can move there without any prosecution from the federal government. And the federal government is saying, no, screw you, California. We're going to come get them. And, well, there's that you have to contend with. I don't remember his name, but he was an illegal alien that came over here and shot Kate Steinle. Shot her right in front of her husband. Her husband, was there holding her when she died in his arms. He has been acquitted of that murder and ICE has said that they were going to send him back to Mexico or wherever the hell he came from. The Department of Justice is going to file charges against him. And so that's on a federal level, not a state level. So wait for more, information coming out about that, and watch Mexico get a little pissed off and say, wait a minute, you can't do that. And, as far as I'm concerned, we can and we will, So that just goes to validate my I don't want to call it assertion or a claim or whatever, but it just validates my point when I say we need to close the borders, period. Close the borders. Close the borders. I don't really give a crap what you bleeding heart liberals say. Close the damn borders, period. Okay? We need to send 100,000 troops down there, and if we can't get that many, we need to send at least 50,000 American citizens down there and stand at the border and tell Mexico, you ain't coming over. And we need to thumb our noses and stick our middle fingers in the air and tell Nieto, the president down there, to shove it up his ass. People are not coming over here. What part of $20 trillion don't you understand? That's how much we are in debt right now. $20.5 trillion. And if it's so good down there with socialism, because that's a socialist country, then why are they coming over here? You know what I'm saying? So we need to close the border. Oh, you're racist, you're prejudiced, you're this, you're that. No, I got friends from every race, creed, and religion that you can think of. So shut the hell up. Close the damn borders. That's it. And we need to go down there. And if 25, 30 people come to me and say, hey, let's go, you lead us down there, well, guess what? Well, lock and load, buddy, because we're on our way. I got a cousin that lives in Texas. I'm sure he can, house a few of us, So, So it's getting to that point. There's so much chaos in the United States of America right now. And the mainstream propagandists are distracting us with all this other bullcrap that's going on, all these little things like Matt Lauer being fired from NBC. It's just all distractions. So turn all that off. Take a look at reality. Take a look at your neighbors. Take a look at your coworkers, your family, and decide for yourself what you want to do. Because as far as I'm concerned, we need to take care of one another. That's an obligation of humanity, is to survive, is to help each other survive. Not only on a personal level, on a singular level with you yourself, but you are obligated to help your family, your friends, your coworkers, and everybody else. We need to help each other survive. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know why? Because there's a shadow government running things that wants to annihilate you or suppress you or enslave you and your family. Okay? That's not a conspiracy theory. They write that in their writings. Go look at Yale University, Harvard University, Columbia University, George Washington University. Go look at all these major universities, and you'll see it in their writings. You'll see it. They want to control and enslave people. I say enslave, but they'll use some other politically correct term. I'm not politically correct, never have been, never will be. But we see this. This is what's happening. Folks, I got to get out of here because, I wasn't going to spend this long on a live show in the middle of the night. So, come join me later on the American Liberty Radio podcast. It'll be up as soon as I record it. I may go live as well. I don't know. So tune in. Come to Spreaker.com/Free Liberty Radio and check it out. Jump in the chat room. Say hi. Also, if you once it goes up, if I'm not live, once the podcast goes up, you can find that as soon as I post it on the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And folks, you guys rock. If you want to be able to support independent media, find one that you enjoy and support them. But American Liberty Radio Network is supported by you at this address, and I'll give it to you. It's patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Patreon.com/American Liberty Radio. Now, I'm going to tell you there's no outro music that I'm going to have because I'm on my Spreaker Studio app on my Android, so there's no way for me to put the outro music on it. So come join me later on today on the American Liberty Radio podcast. And folks, I'll talk more about this and we'll get into deeper issues as well. So if you want to email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. This is American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.